Hi everyone. Oh, we made it. I believe in divine timing and that everything happens for a purpose. And we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Pierre de Hill determined. So yeah, I'm Nicole. I'm Nicole May. I'm a poet. I'm a director. I'm a producer, and I'm also a dramaturg. And like I said earlier, I'm a new mum. Oh my days. And being a new mum is one of the most hardest yet most rewarding jobs I've ever done. That's my baby Eliza. It's one of the most hardened yet most rewarding jobs I've ever done. And most of my mornings tends to be me with Eliza in tow, running across the childminders, which is literally across the road, in my pajamas. I hate being late, and I'm often late, but I hate being late. But what I've learned is the love that flows from me to her is truly amazing. And I understand the sacrifices that working mums have to make. I've joined that club because I want to provide for her. So I'm going to talk quite a lot about the different things that I do at Young Identity and my different job roles. But as a poet, I've performed at Gore Literature Festival in Sri Lanka. I've performed at the Schaubühne in Berlin. That's the Schaubühne. I performed at the Schaubühne in Berlin. I've performed at the Norican Poetry Cafe in New York. I've directed many shows. One of the shows were called Timeline, another show Scars, another show called Displacement. I've produced international residencies for artists. One of my highlights was in a residency taking Welsh artists over to India and Indian artists coming over to Wales. I've produced theatre productions, The Orchard of Lost Souls, Island, dramaturged various poetry community projects. And one of my highlights was one that I did called Alphabus for Manchester International Festival, Now Factory International, which was a cross-art performance with dancers and poets. And they explored what is the human condition, where do we start, where do we begin, all these amazing young artists, flexing dancers from New York coming together to make this production happen. Oh, that's me in India. So I've got some pictures. We'll just go through some different stages. I'm really northern, by the way. So I'm a black Mancunian from north. And my husband, he lives in the south actually, and he's always like, Nicole, I don't understand what you're saying. So I'm sorry if I'm very northern at certain points. Just putting it out there. So the reason I'm a creative is because other creatives in my city took the time out to pour into my development, and they empowered me that I could actually be more and achieve more. And all my mentors, I'm forever grateful for them. So we have a thing in the UK that's called O tight. So after 3, I want everyone to say O tight. 1, 2, 3. So when you hear me say O tight, I want you to say O tight, okay? Right, ready. So I'm forever grateful for all my mentors. O tight. Johnny J. O tight. Lynn Fullard. Rachel Brogan. O tight. Chris Wright. Tight. Later on, I'll explain what O tight means. So I was that passionate teenager, like really ambitious and a bit annoying sometimes. I could join them. And I loved it because of those mentors, they empowered me that I could be more and have the confidence to speak out. So that's the reason why I joined the arts, because of these other creatives, like I mentioned earlier. And I thought it'd be a great place to work, play, have a bit of fun. And I do love a Gantt chart. I'm a bit geeky and I love a spreadsheet. So arts management was my journey through that. I have really great parents who are actually phenomenal. So O tight, my parents. They took me to see this concert called by Sweet Honey in the Rock. So you heard Sweet Honey in the Rock earlier. But they were the reason why I thought, I can do the arts, I can make change. And they're an a cappella group which explore topics on politics, injustice, identity, feminism, how are we going to make world change? And that was my catalyst. I know many of you have catalysts probably in your life where it's made you go, I want to achieve more. I can do this. I can do this. And that's what happened with that particular concept. So I'm actually breathing really heavily. So I'm just going to breathe in. So like I said, I've performed all over the world, but doing this TED Talk has taken me out of my comfort zone. Yes, it really has. And while trying to write this, so much was going through my mind. But then I had my aha moment. Everyone say aha? Aha. So does anyone know Oprah out there? Yeah, so I'm a massive Oprah fan. I was like, aha, I can do this. And there was this thing where I said, no disclaimers. No disclaimers. And no disclaimers at Young Identity is our fundamental principle that we instill with the young people that we work with. And that's to have like no excuses, to be their unique identities, to be authentic, to be bold, you know, to stand up, to speak up. You've got a voice. And I found myself really and truly embracing this for myself, although I teach the young people to have no disclaimers. You've got this. So, so I'm here. So no disclaimers. So my official day job is I'm the executive director at Young Identity. And Young Identity is a literature and performance arts charity based in Manchester with 17-year track record of culture and creativity for young people, locally, nationally and internationally. We redefine the parameters of poetry by creating the most original poetic productions, cross-art performances. We are youth-led and we are community-rooted. And most recently, we received funding from Arts Council England to become a national portfolio organisation. So finally, after 17 years, we're co-funded. So my journey at Young Identity actually started back in 2006, where I was actually a participant. So that journey from participant to executive director has been a journey, but an amazing one at the time. But when I was a participant, we had amazing opportunities. I performed with world-renowned writers, poets, authors like Amira Baraka, Saul Williams, Kate Tempest, and it was just a phenomenal blast of my youth, I suppose, exploring literature and performance, meeting all these people. Yeah, it was amazing. And that's where it kind of comes back to what the fundamental principles of Young Identity is to give young people a voice to speak out, to stand up, have that confidence to voice their own opinions and their stories. So what we do is we teach poetic forms, so to know the literature standards of a sonnet, a haiku, a tanka. And we say it's important to know the rules, but then it's also then important to break the rules, to inform the new rules, to make your own forms, so to become your own Picasso, your own Beyonce, your own Nina Simone, because at the end of the day, they are known for the craft, but also they are then known for innovating their craft. So we say, innovate, young people, make changes. You are the change, you are the future. So one of our mantras at Young Identity is, actually we encourage young people to be at the risk of excellence. We'll just say that again, at the risk of excellence, everyone, at the risk of excellence. Because often when I'm doing the funding applications, it's at young people at the risk of teen pregnancy, at the risk of crime, at the risk of being in a deprived area, at the risk of, the parenting or whatever's going on socially for them, actually, but they are at the risk of excellence. So we say, you are brilliant. So we empower the young people to know the form, to break the form, to innovate form, and you at the risk of being excellent. So if writing is not for you, we give tailored advice for young people to say, go pursue a different career, be a shop assistant, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a cleaner, whatever you want to do. As long as you're happy with that and you feel enriched and that's your catalyst for change within your community, go and do that for yourself. So that's what we do. And actually our alumni have come back and said the skills that they've learned through literature, through the oratory skills they've gained, through the friendships, it becomes a family, that actually these skills have empowered them to move forward. And our alumni are like TV presenters, barristers, shop assistants, doctors, everything. As an organisation, we can call on anyone at any point to go, can you do this for us? And they're like, yes, we can. So that's our alumni and that's what we do. So yeah, that's where we are. So risk of excellence, brilliant people, poetic forms. The next thing is why I'm here today is paying it forward. So with our alumni, what we do is often the alumni go away and they come back. Like we said, we can call upon them. And where they once were the mentee, now they become the mentor and say, actually, this is what I've learned through young identity. Like one of the case studies is we have a probation manager in the city of Manchester, and there was a tender, and she was saying, I was a young person and young identity changed my life. And I want these ex-offenders to experience what I experienced, even though she was an ex-offender. She was good, yeah, but her journey was, I want them to feel empowered through the literature that we've gained. So, yeah, that's what we do. So I'm here today to pay it forward. And because of this amazing, amazing project called Cities Untold, where four literature organisations, 3 literature festivals came together. So that's Manchester Literature Festival, Allcraft and Literature Exchange and Young Identity. All amazing festivals. I won't go into too much detail. Check them out. Come together for 6 writers, so 2 from each city. So it's Aalborg. I'm so not Manchester. Aalborg. I'm saying it right. Yeah. Aalborg and Manchester. And they came together. They went to each of the cities, had a residency out there. And they just explored their experience of the city and looking at the city secrets. And they wrote original work, which is phenomenal. And they're going to be premiered at the 3 festivals. It's sort of been premiered today. So check out the other ones. Yeah, but I think that's it. I'm going to share a poem with you. Oh, this poem. That's it. This poem was commissioned by the BBC and the Forward Foundation, Forward Prize, to respond to Manchester. We are fragile fragments of ash, learning to accept change like hearing the news and not despairing. It's watching lives survive and leave wards, and finding laughter in new eyes. It's placing naivety in a box and shelving it as unwanted. It's allowing yourself to be guided through tunnels, surrendering to the abundance of spring, meditating, jarwaning in a hammock in Malaga, knowing winter's not that far behind on Great Ancoat Street. We remain defiant through decline while drawing strength from each other. It's raving to levels just off the Curry Mile in your red bra and big knickers under the full moon. And believing in Nana's knowledge of what she called science. And believing in Nana's knowledge of what she called science, while understanding lonely and the beauty of solitude. It's Friday prayers filled with hope. It's karaoke Saturdays at the Angel Pub. It's lazy days and Yorkshire pudding Sundays. It's no endings. It's new beginnings. It's constant cranes on my Mancunian skyline. It's age and memory loss. It's age and memory loss. We are fragile fragments of ash. We are fragile fragments of ash. Let's marshal our minds. Let's not lament about the past as we embrace the change. So, to end, one of my favourite quotes is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Dr. Dwayne Dwyer. So how do you want to pay it forward in the communities that you live in? How do you want to empower the next generation? How are you going to encourage people to speak out, to stand up, to be confident, to have a voice? And how are you all going to embrace the poetics of life? Thank you.